I'm here today with the incredible Marta Ortín Obón, which is the co-founder of Dive Medical. Hey, Marta.
Hi, hello.
Nice to see you today. So I wanted to do a little video about getting to know Marta, because we know a lot about your projects, but not so much about yourself. So I have a few questions for you. So number one, can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you actually became an engineer?
So I have always liked the science side of things more than the other side. So I've always been gearing towards that. I've always liked math a lot. When I was in school, actually, we already did some very simple programming things. And from that moment, that was always my favorite subject at school. So I could already tell I would go that way. And yeah, so when it came, the time came to choose what I was going to do, I was sure it was going to be something along those lines, something related to engineering. And yeah, and I finally chose computer science engineering.
Wow, incredible. And now obviously you're based out of Zaragoza University, where you also teach a few classes. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I am a postdoc researcher, but as part of my job, I have the opportunity to be a teaching assistant, and I can help teach some classes. So I currently teach image editing and composition, and I also teach something that's like introduction to programming. The latter is my favorite one because I like programming a lot, and I really enjoy it. It's one of the things that I do that I like the most. It's great to be able to, it's related to teaching them how to think and how to solve problems. And it's great when you manage to explain something and they get it and they get that haha moment and they're like, oh, that's how it works. So it's something I really enjoy.
I love that's actually incredible, and especially as a woman, you know, the world of programming or computing is very male-oriented. So it's really good to see or to have role models like yourself. So, for example, I remember a few days ago we met at your university, and we mentioned that about 95% of the people that were around us were male versus the female. So thank you, Marta, for obviously making sure that young girls also know that computing and kind of coding is actually kind of cool. Now, what is it that you love the most about what you do?
I like having a problem and figuring out how to solve it. That's a challenge that I have the pleasure to face it every day. So it's something that I really enjoy. I really enjoy working with other people and getting on the whiteboard and discussing different options, discussing how to solve this problem, what's the more efficient way. That's something that I really like, and especially related to the Dive project. I like that it's something that I haven't been able to do before, and it's a first for me. I like to work on something that has a very direct impact on society, and it's something that I can see. I can go to the hospital one day to see the doctors I work with, and I see the things that we are using, the things that we are developing. I see them in use right at that moment. So that's something that's very, very nice to see. We're not just in front of the computer all day.
That's incredible. Now, I did have the following question, maybe a little bit hard for you, because you're so passionate about what you do. You seem to have wanted to do it since you were a kid. But if you had not been an engineer, then what would you have done? What would have been the second choice? Was there a second choice at all?
So when I was very, very young, I wanted to be a teacher or a hairdresser. That's when I was very young. Then when high school finished and we had to make this list of the different choices in order of preference that you wanted to choose for a degree, I think my first 2 or 3 first options were different engineering degrees, and then math was also in there and physics was also in there. So it was around those things.
So kind of technically you're also doing the second part, because like you said, you're a teaching assistant at the university. Yeah. So even if you had not been an engineer, then maybe you would have ended up there anyway. So
Yes. Yeah.
Another thing that fascinates me always about people is traveling. And for example, you and I met in Shanghai, in China. We're both Spanish, and where do we meet? China. So out of all the countries that you've lived in or traveled to, which one is the one that has captivated you the most, and why?
So I think in general, Asia is a huge cultural difference from Europe and from my culture. So I think Asia in general it's been the biggest impact for me. The first place in Asia I visited was Japan. I went there for a conference and then stayed for holidays, and I think that's the one that made the biggest impact on me, because it was so different. It was very organized. People were so polite, and yeah, I think that's the thing that struck me the most. Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. That's definitely one of the countries that I have not been into, and it's on my list. And what would you say has been one of your most memorable moments in your career so far?
That's very difficult to answer. I think some of the things, I cannot think of something in particular right now, but some of the things that are like the best moments are when you are working on something in group. You maybe try to get something done and fail for a few times. That's normal, and that happens. And when you finally something works after a year or 5 years trying to get it, and it's great to be able to celebrate that with your colleagues and as a group. And so that's one thing. And the other thing is what I mentioned already before, seeing what you've done being used by people and being useful for a society. That's also a very, very nice accomplishment.
Wow, your answers are actually incredible. This is what I love about getting to know someone on top of just what they do. And last but not least, one more question. Tell us one thing not many people know about you.
Okay, so one thing that I like to mention is that engineers, we're not just engineers. We are normal people, and we do many other things. So the people shouldn't see us like always in front of the computer, eating pizza from 3 days ago, not leaving our house. Well, right now we're not leaving the house, but for a different reason. But so what I have a lot of hobbies. I do a lot of things besides my work. For example, I do road cycling. I like sports very much. I also do oil paintings, actually.
Wow,
yeah. And so yeah, that's something that I like to say, that we can do many things, and that we can be, a person has many different layers, so we are a lot of things at the same time.
Thank you so much, Marta. And that's the reason why doing this video, to get to know people behind what they do. And I really love those paintings behind you. I may have to come and get one of them. So much for today, Marta. I'm sure we'll be talking again very soon, and stay safe. See you soon.
Thank you. See you.